Inside the freezer, her body bore torture marks and indications that she was strangled to death. A review of the incidents of violence, curtailment of freedom, and abuse of basic human rights committed against Filipino workers overseas, especially household service workers in Kuwait, reveal the data so repugnant it compels us to ask what we in government has been doing all these years to protect and give justice to our helpless sons and daughters, brothers and sisters. Sad to state, it seems that our government is as inutile as our foreign workers are helpless in the present state of things. This is a national shame, and yet we proclaim the OFWs the modern heroes of our republic. Our words and action simply do not match. Consider the following data. In Kuwait alone in 2016, there were 82 reported deaths of OFWs. In 2017, the number reportedly increased to 120. On January 25, 2017, OFW Jakay Tia Pawa was executed for the alleged killing of a 22-year-old daughter of her employee in 2007, a crime she claimed up to the day of her execution she never committed. On the day of Pawa's execution, a Filipino domestic helper died in a hospital after a severe beating in the hands of her Kuwaiti employee. I need not go into the specifics of every harm and abuse that our OFWs have been subjected to. They can be discussed sometime or other times in another forum. But let me ask, when will this inhuman treatment of our Filipino workers end? When will the upliftment of their human dignity begin? To the Kuwaiti government and all others where our OFWs work, we seek and expect your assistance in this regard. We do not seek special treatment or privileges for our workers, but we do expect respect for their dignity and basic human rights. Keep them free from harm. I implore you, nakikiusap ako sa lahat ng mga Arabo. The Filipino is no slave to anyone, anywhere and everywhere. Every unlawful physical injury that is inflicted on an OFW is an injury I personally bear as the head of this republic. Every abuse committed against an OFW is an affront against us as a sovereign nation. I ask that our overseas Filipino workers is that the dignity is honored and the rights of human being upheld and respected. We send to you a Filipino worker, hale and hearty, determined to work in his heart out in order to give his family a decent and comfortable life in the Philippines. Do not give us back a battered worker or a mutilated corpse. If the Philippine government is reduced to helplessness because other foreign governments do not heed our request to protect and give justice to our overseas Filipino workers, within the limits that their laws allow, then let me say this both as a matter of personal conviction and national policy. I am ready to take drastic steps that would help preserve Filipino life and limb. We do not intend to offend any government or anyone. But if a ban is what is needed, then let it be so. The ban continues today, and I don't know at what time. I declared it early this morning because I was reading this report complete with pictures sa aeroplano. Putang, hindi ko na masikmura to. It is totally unacceptable to me. Kung wala rin lang ako magawa sa Pilipino, tapos ganito, wala akong silbi dito pagka-presidente. Umalis na lang ako kaya. What for? Tingnan nyo, kasi kung in-hotel talaga, wala. Let me know. And, pero hindi ako pwedeng ganito. Of course, we need the help of Kuwait. No, alam mo mga taga-Kuwait, you guys, I'm addressing the Kuwait nation. There was this friction created because Iraq invaded Kuwait many years ago. And that war and its repercussions continued. So that the American government was always on its toes because Iraq entertained a more expanded invasions later. That was the international intelligence report. It was over the intelligence communities. And so because, though it was a lie perpetrated by the Americans, they decided to invade Iraq. Kuwait. Iraq invaded Kuwait during the time of President Bush, the father. And so the Americans went inside Iraq on the pretext of Iraq having weapons of mass destruction, only to admit that there was intelligence failure, and there was actually none. But because of our desire to protect you, Kuwait, in the future from Iraq, because Iraq was bent on getting you as part of their territory, we at that time, during the invasion, considering you and the danger of weapons of mass destruction, and verily at the behest of the American government, we were deployed in the Middle East using your country, and you saw the workers, the doctors, and the nurses, and other medical personnel of the armed forces of the Philippines. We lost about, wounded seriously, 3 of our citizens fighting for the cause of the peace in the Middle East, focused on the fear of the governments that you will be invaded again. We went there. We were enthusiastic. We were fought to protect your interests. We did not fail you. Oh, how come my countrymen are now suffering brutality, cruelty, and death? And you seem to be oblivious about it. We've been complaining that we are showing you shortly what the, sana? Yung litrato. What are you doing to my countrymen? And if I were to do it to your citizens here, would you be happy? No. No, para pinirito ang lechon. Is there something wrong with your culture? Is there something wrong with the values? Potang inaprinansya yung katawan. You can have it if you want. Enjoy the reading, ladies and gentlemen of this republic. And that is because our only fault is that I address this to Kuwait. Ano ang kasalanan? What is really our fault? Our fault is that God was, I don't know how he runs this show, binigyan kayo ng oil. So, sana may oil kami, just like Indonesia and Malaysia. We could have done better with our citizens in providing livelihood. But since we are really the overpopulation of 110 million is putting our productivity down. And that is why they go to other places para lang ho po so that they could, empower their small pockets to send their children to school. Kaya itong si prosecutor nandito, pakita mo sa kanya yan. The mayor of Davao City says, or the former mayor of Davao says, you better read. Or you are so worried about the lives of the criminals, then take a look at the miserable agony of my country. These guys are going there because they have no money to send them to school. And your clients, the drug syndicates, up to now they're throwing so many barrels of plastic every day out just across the international water. They are still contaminating, and you are worried of the criminals. But you are not worried of... I hope you come. And I hope that we can be together in a room. I would ask for that rare privilege of talking to you. Tayo lang da, the two of us in a room. With no... I welcome you. And if you want to find me guilty, go ahead. So be it. Find a country where they kill people with a firing squad. And I am ready. If you hail me into a rigmarole of trial and trial, no need. Go ahead and proceed in your investigation. Find me guilty, of course. Can do that. I do not want imprisonment. I said, I beg of you to find a country where they execute, by the way, what is EKJ? We are not clear on that definition. What is extrajudicial killing? May I lecture on you? There is a Philippine Constitution. it provides for remedies for the state to seek a redress of grievance from criminals. Used to be that we were adopting the policy of death penalty. Nawala na yan. Okay. Criminal laws says that you cannot escape liability by just pretending to be ignorant. So, in order not to be ignorant, we have to publish our penal laws, especially with punitive sanctions. One of the fundamental requirement in a decent and a humane society, a democracy, is that you must know the law that you are violating. Now, you decide a case in the international court like a common law. You come up with new theories about crimes, making a crime for an act or a deed. But these laws must be published in the official gazette to be really effective laws. Now the treaty says that we signed the treaty, we delivered the documents in Rome, sabi ninyo, but those laws were submitted to you, but were not published yung mga definition of what are the crimes that you can take cognizance of. One of the fundamentals is really that you have to publish it in the official gazette, which this government did not, or not my government. I did not sign it. Now the treaty says that the treaty shall form part of the laws of the land. So itong extrajudicial killing, there is no international international penal code. Kung ano lang makita ninyo, you define it in the way that you are reared in a country where you belong. Parang kumundo, ito kasi ginawa nilang crime. And your individual thinking says that it is a crime. Okay, killing. But what is extrajudicial killing? If you could accuse me, what is an extrajudicial killing? There is no fucking provision of extrajudicial killing. It is not defined anywhere. So how can you now accuse me of a crime when the law says the treaties that we enter into forms are part of the law of our land? Okay, our land says, the Philippine Land Republic says, that before a penal statute or a punitive act can be a basis for prosecution, you have to publish it. Was there any publication? None. What is in the revised penal code? There is no extrajudicial killing. Then, our principles of territoriality is that the crime must only be prosecuted in the place or the country where the crime was committed. But you go into this treaty thing, which America never did. You know why? Because had America signed it, the President Bush, the son, would have gone to prison. Imagining invading a country, raising the excuse of weapons of mass destruction, only to find out or to say later on there was none and we committed a mistake. Karaming massacre dyan ngayon. In all parts of Asia, there's a... Ako po yung gusto ninyong tirahin. You better clear that up because I will withdraw from the ICC. Alam mo, tingnan mo, Miss Prosecutor, yung si Dilima, yung chief prosecutor ko, conducted a hearing here on the pretext that Davao was a killing field. Pumunta dito, all of you Davao citizen saw this on TV. TV patrol ng gabi, online, dala-dala ng mga pulis, pati dala-dala ng mga, si Tagalog, anong, pala ba rin yan? Pala ba yung tawag sa Tagalog? O, pala. Oh, you Tagalog people, you learn Bisaya so that we can understand each other right away. Kinabot niya yung putang inang bukid dyan na nakita niya, o kayo, mga taga-media, all of you, tell the truth. All that she got was a single skeletal body with two heads. Extrajudicial killing for what? A human person? With no head, with two heads? That is not a human being. Maybe it's a monster. In which case, it is also debatable again. I am just joking. But all she got was that. After the investigation, wala na. She went back to Manila. Then, she was taken in Secretary of Justice. She played with drugs, protected them, submitted herself to a video, a pornography for all to see. So she has the moral us to when she was secretary, she investigated me again. But at that time, she was the one who was playing with drugs. When she became senator, they investigated me again. Nothing happened. The House investigated me again. Nothing happened. Way back, I was investigated by the Ombudsman together with the police. I was informed that I was under investigation. They're going to fund for evidence. Good. All lawyers. What did they do? They recommended all those chiefs of police in Davao dismissed from the service. So I told them, fucking guys. They have no sin. They have not committed any wrong. I never ordered a specific Mr. Santos or Mr. Cruz. I just told them, destroy the apparatus of the drug syndicates. And you guys, if you do, to destroy my city, I will kill you. If you destroy the young of this land, I will kill you. And when I became president, I said, please do not destroy my country. I am not a policeman. I am not a general in the army. But I want to build a country that is progressive and safe. And enough progress to be comfortable for my people to enjoy. An economy that's good. Or else, I will destroy you. And I keep on feeding why are all these guys suffering? What's the reason? Because the Middle East is beautiful and they are there for a tourist, so that they contract unemployment. They are there because their children cannot go to school if they do not sacrifice. And for every family that loses a mother that goes into outside of the country, that family, that poor family, becomes dysfunctional. If the mother and father goes out to the Middle East to look for a living, to Filipinos on the average, 4, 5, 6 families, to enable them to pay for the education of their children, both works in another country and the wife deployed in another state. And the children are left to the care of the uncles. They are raped, even by the uncles. It's every day. So, without the father and mother, these children flounder. And they suffered. They swallow everything that a human being can digest in his mental and physical state, but only to commit suicide, because the human body can only take so much. There are not all, let me lay the predicate, not all, but there are tribes in the Arab nation who has this culture that if you are a slave, bought from the slave market of Africa and the Middle East, when you work for them, you are a slave. It includes rape if you do not want it, or orgies if it is to your predilection. They suffer 2-3 years. That is why I have always been avoiding this topic, because once upon a time I was a congressman. There were 2 from Turil and 1 from Kidapawan, which is outside of Davao City. But these 2, the parents kept on coming back and forth to my house because their daughters were in prison because of being apprehended distributing groceries. Christiana. So, since they were there almost crying every day, my wife said, why don't you do something? So I decided to go too. And true enough, King Fahd was a very magnanimous king. Not all Arabs are like that. And he readily acceded to our request, a delegation of Filipino. But I brought all along with me. Most of them were the Muslim, the Moro congressmen. But I was advised by one of the high officials there in the palace, talk to your counterpart. So I forgot his name, but I went to the parliament and I was introduced to this guy. And that is what he told me. You must tell the people, your people, that in some tribes, but not all, you are really raped. First by your employer, then by the son, then the son shares with you with his friends, and the brother-in-law. It's you never heard complaint. Almost all of them who came home to complain, they said they only were able to sleep 3 hours. And that food was garbage, the leftovers. And they do not have sleep because if it's a compound, they clean the house of their employee, the original, then they have to clean the house for the son and daughter-in-law and for the children, and she washes the clothes. That is why she only sleeps 2 or 3 hours. Most of them come home with a mental disease. And I was hesitant to announce them because I did not want to create something in the minds of the husbands or the, because it will destroy their thinking process every day, knowing that But the secretary said once a diplomatic, I said no. Maybe there's a suspension of the ban. I wanted to stop. So I told him, and the senator, but the congressman, I need to put a face for the cruelty and the agony of the cruelty of some people and the agony that we are facing. Since we are also free to do our thing, when that prosecutor from the ICC comes here, I want to tell her, because I also want to complain to her about this. And they're happening, thousands of them. So everyone who wants to come home, I said to Secretary Bello, those who want to be repatriated, with or without money, I will ask PAL and Cebu Pacific to provide the transportation. I want them out of the country, those who want to go out, in 72 hours. I will not wait. I said that's about 1 week. No. We will count our lives by the hours, because apparently every hour there is a suffering and agony committed, brutality committed by Filipinos. When we were called upon to help maintain the balance of power and see to it that Iraq stops, or there is no Iraq at all, and the Kuwait government freed from its headache. We were there for you. You know, it's very sad, that this is what we get in return. Well, maybe someday. God is good. God is great. He will balance everything. Sometimes, somewhere, somehow. And we will wait for that time. Our only crime is that we are poor. I said, God is a great being. This is a dangerous world. Do not count on us. We will do things the way we believe, to the greater interest of this nation. No country, as long as I'm president, no country can bring us into trouble. Be it Korea, be it North Korea, you can rest assured, we will not. China, we are not prepared to deal with arms in you. We'll just end up in a slaughter of my soldier. But if you want to make good your promise that we might start to have explorations, because I said we are poor, we can start partnerships. If you want really to help us, which you proclaim you want, the Philippine rice or the Benham rice is ours. And the continental shelf that extends subterranean, if it reaches Guam, then Guam is ours. The continental is the submerged part of a landmass. If that continental ship goes to the shores of San Francisco, then San Francisco is ours. If it goes to the Atlantic Ocean, then we will claim the Atlantic Ocean. Because nowadays, the favorite go is, you claim an ocean. You don't claim it, just so. And since it's all underwater, and above us the soil, but all connected, not really perceived in naked eyes, but you know, all connected because the seabeds are all connected everywhere. There has to be, I'm just joking, but Ben of rice, the Philippine rice belongs to the Philippines. We will claim exclusive ownership of the economic zones. 200, the counted kilometers or by mile? By miles na lang. I will compute it by miles because a mile is longer. And I said, order the Philippine Navy and Air Force to do regular patrols. And since itong frigate was embroiled in a scandal, dragging the name of my aide, and she was told that he will be called to testify, but they said it would be under an executive session, meaning to say it's not open to everybody. I told me, Bonges, do not agree to that. Demand and ask for an open, transparent, in public. That frigates were contracted during Aquino's time. It was ready for delivery, but for the armaments that Hyundai wants to install because it debuilt the ship, and Mercado, the chief of the Navy, wanted another armament placed there on top of the ship of Hyundai. That got him into a quarrel with Lorenzana. I don't know why this. You know, there is a secret, and you can ask. You can go there to Malacanang. Anytime, all of you, you're free to ask. I do not allow commercial transactions, papers in my desk in Malacanang. I only sign appointments and other concerns of the, but never MRT deal. It does not reach. And you can take a look at, I invited all the media of all the world. Go there and look at the papers and the ledger. You can find no pending contracts being signed. If that thing falls under the jurisdiction, of the labor, Bello takes charge. If it's a Senate matter, I would not. Here is money, he's a pastor. He will tell you. I never ask anything from anybody at any time. I have not requested Congress to do what about this federal. Things should be. But Senator Pacquiao knows the entrails of what ails this island. Bebot, because he married a Dabaweña, is a congressman, but this is representing the OFW. Yan sa. Sabi nila contract. Ask anybody. Ask any secretary. If they will say that the papers of MRT2 is with the president, I will step down immediately. No dramatics there. No melodramatics. I'm trying to govern us and be far from the madding crowd. And no congressman or senator has also even called me to recommend to anybody, because when I ran, I was alone. There's 130 congressmen. I only had one, maybe Manny Pacquiao. Governor Ivy is one. Subiri Abet, and Belio was the fraternity brother of Binay. So he left his job because he was the congressman of the party list. He was the representative of Binay's. He resigned and said he will join me because he does not like this thing. It's to be a recurring nightmare for the Filipino people. May I now ask the Senator Manny Pacquiao to just give the words.
Thank you, Mr. President, and to all of us here, the media. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagbibigay ng panahon na pakinggan kami. Mr. President, of what happening right now in Kuwait sa mga kababayan natin, nag-iinit ang ulo ko. Murabag nakaminos sila. Murabag nakaminos ang kining mga tawhanan, bro, nakaminos ba? Mr. President, just want you to know na kung ano man yung mga plano mo para sa ating bansa, all-out support, ako at ang aking pamilya, sa lahat ng aking mga advocacy, ikaw ang lagi kong binibida sa kanila because of your advocacy, because of your heart for the Filipino, for this country. And that's yan yung tanging hinangaan ko the most sa buhay mo, dahil yung puso mo na sa mga tao, puso mo na sa taong bayan. And then itong nangyari na to, grabe yung nararamdaman ko. Parang kasi kaya sponsor ko lang ng mga OFWs na galing sa ibang bansa din, sa Saudi yata yun, yes, Saudi, na tinulungan ko pagdating dito dahil wala silang perang dala, wala yung mga gamit din nila, at napauwi lang dito, tapos wala silang perang madala sa magulang nila, kaya tinulungan natin. Pero naawa ako sa kanila dahil yung iba may mga pasa pa, may mga bugbog. Para bang masakit sa atin na tingnan yung mga kababayan natin na inaapi sa ibang bansa, na malaki man sana ang naitulong natin sa kanila dahil na tayo ay nagtatrabaho sa kanila, at tayo ay tumatanggap lang ng pinaghihirapan natin. Pero yung pang-aabuso, dapat, para sa akin, Mr. President, siguro yung mga gumawa nun, kung yung government ng Kuwait, wag nilang i-tolerate, i-death penalty nila yun, kasi yun man yung batas nila. I-death penalty nila yung employer na gumawa nun. At siguro, masasatisfy tayo, magkakaroon tayo ng kaginhawaan sa puso natin pag ginawa ng government, ng Kuwait government, na i-impose din nila yung batas nila doon sa kanilang mga citizen. Dahil buhay itong nawala, at hindi tayo parang hayop lang na basta lang patayin at apihin. At maraming salamat sa lahat-lahat, Mr. President, sa lahat ng effort mo. Actually, para sa akin, ikaw na lang maging presidente sa habang kami ay nabubuhay. Kasi gusto namin ganong pangulo yung matigas, hindi yung puro salita. Like what we discussed a while ago, Mr. President, in the room, na kaya naghihirap yung mga Pilipino because itong mga mayayaman, mga kurap na mga mayayaman, especially yung mataas na masyado yung taxes natin. Yan ang dahilan eh. Pero we understand the needs of the people, na naintindihan natin yung pangangailangan ng tao ng mga mahirap because galing tayo sa mahirap. Galing tayo sa mahirap at nararamdaman natin yung puso ng mga mahirap. Yung mahirap kasi, yung mga tao na hindi dumaan sa hirap, nararamdaman lang nila, nakikita nila yung problema pero hindi nila ramdaman yung problema at nararamdaman ng mga mahirap na tao. So, yun ang masabi ko, na lahat ng mga ito, sa tingin ko, yun ang nagdulot ng problema, Mr. President, yung ganong mga pangyayari na dapat natin sigurong baguhin at ipaintindi sa mga tao. Maraming salamat.
To you, Manny. Since we're all officials of this government, I'd like to turn over the microphone to Secretary Bello. Sabi niya, ang puso natin, yung puso ni Secretary Bello is with the somebody else's body, not here. So I would like you to explain.
Thank you, Mr. President. As earlier stated by our President, I recommended that we continue with the suspension of the processing and issuances of new OECs until we have discovered or determined the true causes of the death of our 7 OFWs in December of last year and January of this year, including the recent death of our OFW from Sara, Iloilo, Miss Joanna Daniel de Mafilis. In addition, I also suggested to our President that in order to lift the suspension, the Kuwaiti government should already sign the memorandum of an understanding that has been pending with them for the last 3 years. This memorandum of understanding provides for additional protection for our overseas workers in Kuwait. However, the President has taken his position, and I fully support the position of our President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Langan.
Magandang gabi po. Mr. President, unang-una po nagpapasalamat ako bilang kinatawan ng mga OFW at 12 taon din po sa Saudi Arabia. Ganun na rin po ang tatay ko. Kasi po, ngayon lang po talaga kami nagkaroon ng presidente na may puso at malasakit sa aming sektor. At nagpapasalamat din po kami dahil po sa mismong sa inyo na po nang galing at ang pagtatanggol nyo sa aming mga naaaping, lalong-lalo na po yung mga domestic worker. Mahigit po 10 milyon ang aming sektor na sumusuporta at nagdadasal po sa inyo. Ang sa akin lang po, Mr. President, pakiusap ko rin po sana na bantayan natin ang ating mga airport kasi po yung mga mabibiktima ng mga human trafficking at illegal recruiters dahil na rin po na kagustuhan nilang itawid itong mga ating mga domestic workers na to papunta po ng Kuwait. At nandito po kami, buong puso at tapang din po sumusuporta sa lahat po ng layunin at programa nyo po. Solid po ang lahat ng mga OFW at ang aming mga pamilya na nagdarasal at sumusuporta po sa inyo. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, Tatay Digong.
Ito this is the press con. I'd like to see to it that either back or front door, I would like to task the Philippine National Police, dito yung ating regional commander, Morente, he has to walk the extra mile. The NBI, Coast Guard, and lalo na yung component sa mga pantalan, but usually it takes sa aeroplano yan. I want to add more personnel there. And I will hold responsible yung mga taga-Bureau of Labor who had something to do with the permits of the recruiter. I want all of them connected already by this time, arrested and placed behind bars to face charges. I will order Aguirre to issue the order. It's a continuing crime. I will not go to a specific visa or passport that was issued with that intervention. If they are into it, it's a continuing crime, and we will have them arrested and detained without bail. Non-bailable ang illegal recruitment. At stricter this time, at kayo mga kababayan, you just have to bear with it. We're having a problem, but I do not want immigration to abuse and the customs and all. I have given my orders, lalo na mga OFW, yung mahirap, do not open the bags. No opening of bags anymore in the airport. Paglabas niyan sa aeroplano, may security check yan doon. There's a security machine there. So pag akyat ulit sa rampa niyan, magkukunin mo na doon sa conveyor. What's the... At saka pag may tanim bala, wala naman. Pag may nagtanim bala dyan, I will hold all responsible aviation police. Pag may isa pa dyan, alis kayong lahat. Papalitan ko kayo. Not only the specific policeman, all of you there will be relieved. And so will the Naya. All of you there will be relieved. I'll place you in Zamboanga. There's so much entry of terrorists now in the back door. Doon kayong ma-immigration. See to it that they do not enter the Philippines. That is your job. And if you are afraid to go there, you resign. If you are afraid to die, hang yourself. Magbayad ako sa inyo, tapos ganun ang trabaho na ninyo. Fucking shit. So yan ang itong walang processing muna sa travel agency. And those, I expect to the tourism office also to, I'll be back Monday. I'll start to clean up the whole mess there. I'd be stricter. Sabihin niyo, diktador ako, fine. Sabi ko sa inyo, I'm ordering the police. Even si Arden nandito. And the military, you guys, if you think that I overstay there for even one day, you arrest me. If I become a dictator unlawfully, you kill me. But in the meantime, I give the orders because I have to protect the people. I do not enjoy giving. Hindi ako militaring order dito, order doon. Ako, nag-request lang. I'm requesting everybody just to behave. No, that is what the president can only do. He is to request everybody. Behave. Then wala tayong problema. And we have this problem of terrorism. We will deal with them just like the way other armed forces and the police reacted during the Marawi siege. And for the communists, no quarters, no ask. Ngayon ito, bot, money. Itong Canada, nagbili tayo ng 23 something or 21 helicopters. Tanungin mo na si RD kung ilan. Does he know the figure? How many helicopters are we buying from Canada, sir? Kasi sabi nila, magpabili lang sila sa atin, but only for evacuation and emergency. Hindi natin pwede gamitin yung para sa anti-insurgency, because if it is used against the Filipino rebels, hindi nila ibigay. So this is my reaction. I want to tell the armed forces to cut the deal. Huwag na ituloy, and somehow we will look for another supplier. We respect the stand of Canada. So from here on now, I am directing the armed forces of the Philippines, since most of the guns, bullets, and whatever weapons of war gagamitin man talaga sa mga, it will be invariably, it will be used against the rebels and the terrorists. Do not buy any more from Canada or from the United States, because there is always a condition attached. So if we cannot use it against the terrorists who are Filipino citizens, then prepare for the eventual collapse of this country. Because they are not ignorant. I'm sure Canada is a bright boy, that the terrorists are the ISIS contaminating the locals. And if I cannot use the gunship, the helicopter, then I might as well surrender this government to them. That's the logic. But I said, I do not question your logic. Your logic is your logic. My logic is mine. It's based on the reality on the ground. So, henceforth, this is a direct order to, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the police. No more buying of arms from arms lang naman. Mga hairpin, pati yung mga sabon, make-up, okay? You want to look beautiful, cosmetics, buy it from Canada. U.S. because of its too much imposition. But I assure you, I am supporting Trump. He is a good president. He's doing it also for his country. People just don't understand him. He is supposed, alam mo, in a raucous society, depende yan eh. If you are behave people, you adjust. But if you are here also in Mindanao, ambos dito, ambos on killing my soldiers every day, even the police standing now. Look, kayong mga sundalo pati military. There was this report na nagtindig lang yung kapwa doon na namatay. I'd like to tell you now, be careful. I've been telling you. He was hit from afar. Talagang they have also learned the art of sins Marawi. But yung company nila sila lumapit. That's why you kill one soldier a day. Nabasa ko na kaagad eh. Sabi ko sa likod ito. So there will be a lot of sparrows. And hindi yan sila. Ayaw na yan sila you go to a four, yung parap-parapan. They will do it ambuscades, and that is why I am ordering also the police to control the sale of all gun stores are no longer allowed to sell high-powered guns, even to governors and mayors. Only the military and the police can buy. And this should be taken off the shelf and returned to Krami. That must be reflected there. Kung sinong nagbili, sinong tao, sa anong ranggo, saang unit, tapos, he must be out. Kasi pag nahulog yan doon sa the nearest will be an immediate summary court-martial. Remember that in Mindanao there is martial law. I will ask the military to set up martial law courts. There is a soldier, you buy bullets there and somehow it reaches into the hands of the enemies of the state, be careful. I will be unforgiving. You not only be discharged, I will insist that you go to jail. Kasi ang tinatamaan bang nagbibigay ka ng bala sa civilian ka, you're supplying emanations to the enemies of the state. Kaya magbabagsakan niya. Kung anong gamitin na sa detachment, they'll use the high-powered. You can attack. Kaya what we do is, hindi natin taguin yan sa kanila. Alam nila na alam natin, alam nila. At alam rin natin. So, we fight the way they want it. And for all the legal fronts at becoming up with something. Mga legal fronts naman talaga, mambubukid, karapatan, well, not this time. But I'm warning you, not this time. Okay, matakot dictatorship. Yun, kayo mga law-abiding dyan. Pero kayong yung harap-harapan magparade dyan, although communism party is not this alone. But all of you connected with the NDF and NPA, it's one big conspiracy to commit a crime. Sabi nga ni Season, kill a soldier or police one day at a time. So my orders to you is, do the same. Do the same. This war. Just hearing it from Season say, kill one soldier a day. Eh kung ganun, bakit pa i-limit ko yung akin? Gawin ko namin mo 5 natin. Why the limit? He wants killing. I never ordered that openly. But if that is what you're giving us, I'll be returning the favor. Ano ako, loko-loko? Well, of course, if we can ambush them, I will buy helicopters. Not the logic of, that's the reason I'm buying helicopters, because I want to finish them off. Kung hindi ko ipaggamit sa evacuation lang, meaning to say that kargahan ko lang yan sa mga patay kong sundalo. Forget it. That's a crazy proposition. So that, since we respect their values now, they are a free country, I hope that we will never be called upon to use arms in their defense or for them. You will never get it for as long as I'm president. We are neutral. We will continue to talk with China. This is not the time to be fighting over South China Sea because it only would lead into a war. But again, I'm putting notice to the world that the Philippine rice, which we call Benham rice, is ours. It's ours. And the economic zone is ours. And if the continental shelf still extends beyond the 200 miles, hanggang doon yan. Because it is a theory of geography, geopolitics included, that we can rightfully claim the continental shelf because it is the top part of the landmass which is under the sea. To you, where you see the land base. Yung nakabaon doon sa ilalim, atin yun. Yung continental shelf is parang bukid yan. I hope it does not reach Guam now because Guam will be ours also. But just the same, we cannot fight America, like China, just keep quiet. But if you get something there from the economic zone, I will order the Navy to fire. No, if you can claim a whole of an ocean, do not mess up with me, with my economic zone here. Nawala na nga dito eh. Di kukunan mo pa, di parang pinutol mo ng dalawang kamay ko. But China, it's good. Wala. Sabi nila, no construction sa Spratly Islands. They assured us. They assured me. So I will hold China to that commitment. And we will remain loyal in our commitments. Sabi ni Rocky, mapakinabangan pa natin yung islands. Pag natapos na yan, sabihin natin, amin man yan. Palagyan mo muna ng building. Ang sabi ng China, mag-away na. Away tayo, sige. Pero i-turn over mo na yung tapos na yung may mga hotels na dyan. Yan ang ibig sabihin ni Rocky. Malay mo. No, China is playing it right at this time. That is the reality of geopolitics. Hindi naman tayong kalaban niya. Kalaban niya Amerika. They are competing for a world superpower in the next in the centuries to come. Huwag tayo makasali dyan. We better solve the fundamental problems of our country, including what's happening to our brother Filipinos. Thank you. Question? There is no question. I told you. What is there to ask? I have given everything. You are inventing theory again. Oh, what's the question? I'm standing up. I'm getting
Sir, you
lazy
said
now.
earlier or the other night that you were going to create one of these days. What happened now to your plan?
Break what?
That you're going to create, di ba, sabi mo, anytime? Yeah, you were going to create anytime. Anytime now. So, and what is it exactly that you want the Kuwaiti government to do about the problem?
Ano din, hindi ko maintindihan itong mga yawa.
Sabi mo, punta kang Kuwait.
Yes,
Clarification lang.
baka sige ko, wait and see.
Okay.
Yang, because of the seriousness of the problem,
Yeah.
I would have wanted to, I called, Secretary Bilio brought the ambassador of Kuwait yesterday. We had a private talk. I am not privileged to say it to anybody. But kami lang pati yung aide ko. And sinabi ko, if it gets serious, or if my appearance before your officials would there,
Your rulers.
I might go. Sabi ko, 24 hours lang. 24 hours notice. After talking, I'll be back. Problem is, looking at the plane, kagabi dyan sa airport, yung mga liliit. So, sabi ko, mag-plot na kayo. Because if you take, it's too expensive. So, I might be going there, then land in Hong Kong, refuel, maybe land in Pakistan or India, then eventually land somewhere in, o baka Amsterdam, tapos diretso. I don't know. Pero may plano ako.
Okay.
To plead my case that before that. So, kailan yun ngayon? Nagtataka ako kailan na. Kaya ang tanong, ang rig ko kanina, alam mo, sira na talaga.
Sorry.
O kailan ka mag-pray?
Ayan.
Gaging ka pala. I've been praying all day and all night for my
I
countrymen.
Sir,
Oh.
second question, ito lang talaga importante. About ICC, when everything is said and done, aren't we going to the very basic question of, does ICC have jurisdiction about the case, especially that we are not a failed country and we have a working judiciary and we have already persecuted two presidents before. So does,
Sabi ko, those are the things that are basic. A treaty, when you incorporate it as part of the laws of the land, cannot be higher than the Constitution.
so it has no jurisdiction.
Hindi mo pinablis eh.
Okay.
How am I supposed to know na ang extrajudicial killing? Dito pangalawa na sana naghinto na. Wala man nagsabi sa mga killer niya na yung mga killer hindi nagabasa. Hindi nga nagabasa ng Philippine Daily yan. Newspaper mo. Star.
Nagabasa ulit. So,
By the way, PMS, because hindi ko kasi maabot yan. Saan ba ang PMS dito? Han? I will have to make this public because I want the Mayor Belmonte to know it. Yung bulaklak ko doon sa isang patay, doon kay biyuda ni Senator Puyat, pinaalis ng PMS kahapon, pagdating ng bulaklak ko, pinalit. At sinabi, itabi mo yan kasi ayaw ni Mayor yan si Congressman Belmonte. O Mayor ba yun? O yung anak
Vice
niya?
Mayor si Joy po, sir.
Siya ang may
Ang Vice
bulaklak.
Mayor yung babae, yung bata.
Yeah. But
Congressman,
whose flower was
I don't know. So, kanina
So,
lang.
saan ninyo nakuha yan na galit ako kay Belmonte na whenever I go out of town
Kasama mo man.
on foreign trip, gagawin na, Bilyo. Bakit ninyo ginawa na ano? So, I better have a good explanation or else it's what time that we have a revamp in that. I do not like one foisting any theory about a quarrel with anybody. Lalo na sabihin yung walang araw, kay Bebot, itabi mo, o kay Senator, papatayin ko. Well, you're putting me into a snake pit there which I do not, wala man akong kalaban dyan. Baskin kay Rojas, lagay mo dyan. Kung si Rojas na, aywan ko, sali niyo pangalan. Kung Rojas ng bulaklak, sige lang. Okay pa rin.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Ano? Usa-usa lang kay adto na ko na ako interview sa
Sir, with the ban, will you recommend to the consular offices in Middle East, especially in Kuwait, to have an active hotline? Because the OFWs are complaining, the distressed ones, they cannot connect with the consular office and they are given shabby treatment by employees of our own government there.
kaya nga, there should be a supervisor every day walking about, thereabout. There should be, you should know the specific addresses of the workers. And second, they have to stop getting the passport of the worker. They keep it, kaya hindi makagalaw. So these are the things, that is the job of Belyo. So you better ask Secretary Belyo, not me. I do not negotiate with them. As of now, it's banned, period. Wala akong, I do not want to add or take away anything from its statement. Hanggang dyan lang ako. If there is something to negotiate, let Belyo and Congressman Bertis do it. And maybe the Senator, Manny.
Sir, one more concern, Mayor.
Sorry.
Sorry, one more concern, Mayor. The Lumals of Mindanao who just went home after the conference, but two of them were killed, and they are asking you for protection. What should be done in their plight?
In the meantime, they should live just near the camps of the military. Or if they want, if they are well trained enough, give me about 3 months, I will train them as Kapu and give them firearms. And go out and hunt for those who killed their comrades. If you got one in his head also, I will pay you. I'll put a reward. isang NPA mapatay ninyo, kayong mga lumad na maging kapgo, I'll pay you, you want money, I'll give you money. I'll make it to 20,000 per head. See, marami ang pera gobyerno. Kung magbayad ka lang ng taxes mo, mas lalong marami pa.
Thank you, sir.
Sige, oh. Bakit lang ako ginakulata mo? Itong dalawa na ito.
Good evening, Mayor President. Sir, dati po nabanggit nyo no, na pwede tayong mag-withdraw sa ICC. Option pa rin po ba yan ng Pilipinas? Yung mag-withdraw sa ICC membership?
Well, I do not want to appear na I'm trying to avoid liability. Basta sinabi ko lang, kung ganun ang style nila, karami ngayong mas rape. Bakit ako? Ang namamatay dito, kriminal. Ang mabuti sana kung walang namatay sa polis ko, pati sundalo ko. Remember that war in that Marawi siege started with the service of a writ of arrest. The charge was shabu. Oh, look what happened. There was war. I lost about 100. Pili akong namatay mo. 164 policemen and soldiers. Tapos sabihin mo extrajudicial killing. Gusto ko ito usapin eh. If she ever does file a case, I will ask her to take the witness stand. I will go there to plead my case. Lagay ko siya dyan. Alam mo, days before, mayroon na akong I knew that there was this communication. Sige, makita tayo doon after, before the announcement of to be on Tuesday. Kaya Tuesday, hinintay namin, wala. Alam ko lahat yan. Sabihin mo sa kanya, alam ko. Days before, mayroon na akong sila Loida yan. Loida, pati itong mga Duterte haters. May complete transcript na ako. Alam ko. Kaya sabi ko, basta marami kang kaibigan na sikat. Kaibigan mo si Putin. Kaibigan mo China. Alam mo kaagad. Sige mo yan sila, kutkut sa kaiga nila.